Beautiful world. Hello, everybody. I'm back again for my third video. I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna call this one "The Fight with That Killer Radiation." The fight with that killer radiation. Now, if you've been keeping up with me the first couple of videos, I'm gonna squeeze it in real quick. I've been battling cancer since December 2021, and after my diagnosis of stage 2 rectal cancer, I was hurt just like everybody else. I was stunned. I thought I was gonna die, and through the blessing from God, I end up meeting a guy that had been through what I had been through, and I had been praying for that because the doctors wouldn't give me somebody because they didn't have anybody really. The chief doctor said that he would find somebody. He would do whatever he could to make me feel comfortable. You know, all the good stuff that they tell you in the beginning. You know, they act like they really, really care in the beginning, but never would give me anything that I would request. And you're so scared to where you're just going with the flow, and listening to them, and they're doctors, and you just want to believe that they know what they're talking about, and they got the best interest for you. But I found out that you're just none but a number. You're just another client that goes in and out, and the lobby is full of them. You know, so I don't know how a doctor could stay in that business. And anyway, after talking to the guy I met in Germantown, Tennessee, and he had told me what he had been through and some things he did, like overdosing on water, really, alkaline water, and trying to eat right, but he was eating soul food and still eating whatever he wanted. Here I was trying to eat everything, fruits and vegetables, or all plant-based diet, and was struggling. But what's for you is for you. God blesses everybody different, but he had went through 28 days of radiation and came out of it 100% clinical free. The 100% clinical response that you have to have if you want to avoid a colostomy bag, having surgery, even the surgery where you wear the bag temporary. And but rectal cancer didn't seem like it would be that hard to get rid of that tumor the way he was talking. But the difference was he was at a different hospital than I was. And I think I want to say, I don't want to, I guess I'm going to start, if I'm going to be transparent, I'm going to say, I had said I wasn't going to say who it was because I don't know how the response will be. It's being that it's the government, basically the VA hospital. I'm a military veteran, and I chose to go to the VA, thinking that they would take care of their veterans. But it seemed like I hear from all different type of veterans that we just don't get treated right in that hospital, and you don't get the best service, and it's basically true because of what I know I went through. When you go through cancer, you fighting cancer, you hope to get the best treatment that you can and the best medicine that you can in order to cure it. But it was told to me from the beginning that from the jump, the chemo pills that I would be taking was a generic version of whatever the real version is. And they would keep telling me that that's it works the same. It works the same. It's no different. How? If one is generic and one is the real version, or the the fact that it says generic, one is generic, and I'm not sure the generic. I'm gonna just say it means fake. It's a duplication of something, but supposedly supposed to act like the real drug, but not really the same. Like you can go in the store and get Tylenol, but then you can get the Walgreens version of Tylenol, or Dollar General, or so on and so on. And some people say that you're gonna see me going back and forth with my eyes because I'm getting used to this. Oh yeah, somebody told me to put my camera like this, on my next video. So I'm learning, and stay with me. I'm sorry I jumped off, but anyway, the medicine I was getting, they was telling me, was called capcitabine, and that's the generic version of another word. I can't remember what it was. A lot of this I'm not gonna remember because a lot of it I try to block out my mind because it's still depressing. It still tortures me. It's still, when I think about what I was doing to my body and what they were giving me, knowingly giving me as doctors, you know. And speaking of the doctors, real quick, from the beginning, he was like, me and my team. Um, when they diagnosed me, they said, my team. This is the chief hematology cancer doctor. Me and my team, we all got together and went over it, and um, we all agree that it's cancer. Now I started thinking about this team. They make it seem like it's 15, 20 people sitting around a conference table like you see on TV. Now they might do this at other hospitals, but the team that I was going through at the VA seemed to consist of two or three people. And the assistants, and what do they know? The people that was working the radiation machine, they weren't giving the orders on, they were just setting up the machine. Other people were just doing lab work and blood pressure and stuff like that. But the main people who were giving the orders were the chief hematology doctor. Like I said, I call him Dr. Weirdo because he was weird, and he was the chief. Red all around his mouth, like he been sucking on a lollipop all day, but something was wrong. Bumps, and just look, uh, from the top all the way down. Something just wasn't right with the hygiene around there. It didn't look like a safe place to be getting treatment, or to be going through cancer. But again, I didn't have the kind of insurance to where I can go to a good hospital, so I went to the VA. And being fearful of my life and talking to the guy, he had went through it. Um, like I said, and when this doctor comes back, me and my team got together. I'm thinking it's a whole bunch of people. We went over 2,000 cases like this. We and there got to be a lie if it's only 4% of the people in the world. It's either the world or the United States. And like I said, I'm not gonna be giving y'all super facts, but I'm gonna be telling you the certain things that I remember, and it's close. I'm gonna tell you the things that I'm saying is close. So it's 4% of something, but even being 4% of a stadium, of 1,000 people, that's not many. So 4% of the people who get rectal cancer, this guy is telling me that throughout his experience and throughout what he's been through and the studies that he's done, he probably haven't even did a rectal case. And he was acting like he was so adamant, like he really wanted to do this, like he wanted to do the surgery. No matter what I said about alternatives or trying to get away from that surgery to wear a bag for the rest of my life, he was just so strong and, like I said, happy to tell me, "Oh, Mrs. Dumars, I'm really on your side. You know, I've been doing this for over 40 years, and I have the best plan. You know, we have the best doctors, and who are the best doctors? It was him giving orders. He had an assistant that was going to school. I'm gonna call her Dr. Toto because she was just a little puppy running around, you know, trying to learn from him, and all she was learning was words. Seemed like every time I would tell them something, they'll go out the room and Google something or whatever. It was crazy, man. But then she kept on telling me what he was saying. And even though I was asking her, was it, you know, it's got to be another way. Can I go see another doctor? Even she was saying, you know, that I couldn't see another doctor and that they had the best plan for me. Like she knew everything that she was doing, and she was just a student and giving me the plan and everything. Now, this team that they came up with, the plan that he came back with was on a sheet of paper like you get from a workbook in school in calculus. It looked like a playoff sheet, a football playoff sheet, and up here it had phase one, then it had phase two, and then it had phase three. And like I told y'all before, phase one consisted of 28 days of radiation and chemo. Phase two was 84 more days of chemo through your veins intravenously. Phase three, probably, I think it was some more, I don't know, chemo or radiation or whatever. But I know it consisted of finally cutting the cancer out of my rectum and wearing a colostomy bag for the rest of my life. I'm 55 years old, if I didn't tell you already. And I just didn't want to, I think I'm young enough to live a better life than wearing a colostomy bag for the rest of my life. And no downplay on anybody who has one. I'm not putting anybody down or anybody who knows somebody. I just know I wasn't ready to wear one. I don't want to wear one. I don't think that's the way God wants me to walk around for the rest of my life. Okay, but that's another story. I'm going to go back to the radiation. Well, to their team. This team brought me a piece of paper that had the layout of what they was going to do. All this team come up with. They had nothing else to give me. Now the team just looked like it was just the hematology doctor, the radiation chief, and everybody else from like the secretary or the radiologist who was running the machine and everything. Okay? So let's quickly get to this fight with this radiation. Man, that hell is the only word I can describe radiation. My plan consists of going every day, 10 minutes a day. Now, 10 minutes a day, off on the weekends, off on the holidays. Now, 10 minutes is not enough to cook nothing. I'm going to pause it for a second. Okay, I'm back. I hope I'm back. Like I said, I'm not real good at doing these videos, and I'm just learning, like I said, and just wanted to get my story out there. And hope I help somebody, man. I hope I help just one. 2 would be perfect. 3 would be even better. 4 and 5, if I can help more than that, man, it's a blessing. But anyway, I just paused it because I wanted to read this real quick about. I started the radiation and the chemo pills February 10th, 2022. About 10 minutes of radiation every day, but not on the weekends and holidays. Every day when I got on that table to get the radiation, I would say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You know the prayer. Um, and I would chant things over and over like I am healed and oh Lord, I am healed. You know, Lord, I am healed. What's the verse? Oh Lord, heal me, oh Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me and I will be saved. For it's you I praise. Yeah, I would say that over and over. Then I would just say, Lord, in Jesus' name, this cancer is gone. In Jesus' name, this cancer by the blood and bones of Jesus. I would just pray and I would pray and I would be on that table just praying. But it was 10 minutes real quick in a day. Now that was just stressful anyway, man, because like I said, think about putting something in the microwave for 10 minutes and it's burning. It's burning, it's burning, it's burning whatever it is, it's cooking whatever it is. That's that's basically what was happening to me. And anybody else that goes into radiation. I'm moving around. Like I told y'all, I had surgery on the 20th, and I'm still healing from that, man. So I'm gonna try to speed it up because, like I said, I don't want to bore y'all. I want y'all to stay in this and see what happened and make your own decision whether you want to go through it. If you know somebody, if going through it, or if you know somebody that's going through it, share this video with them. Anyway, it's like cooking something in a microwave for 10 minutes. Now, the first couple weeks it started off, they started giving me the ration, and it goes around my pelvis, my torso area, and where the tumor was, supposedly shooting a laser or whatever through me to that spot where the tumor is in order to shrink the mass. I don't know how that works, man. It's like some magic, some wizard type stuff. But it just didn't seem like how could that be? And then it's shooting through and you saying your bladder could be bothered. You won't be able to hold your pee. You might not be able to hold your excuse me, your bowels. Your heart might fail. All this stuff that can happen from, and I've heard of people having heart failure and heart attacks and stuff while they were getting radiation. Man, anyway, so like I said, I was giving my life to God, really, but I was putting it in man's hand. I was putting it in someone else's hands, and them little ladies would come and set up the radiation machine and aim it where it's supposed to be aimed according to where they said the tumor was. Now, what do I know? They could be missing the tumor. They could be a little bit off. Anything could happen. But in order to shrink it, I was willing to go through it. And like I said, believing that if it could happen for my new rectal cancer partner, that if it could work for him, it'll work for me. But that goes back to he had good doctors. He had good medicine from a real hospital. He didn't have the generic version. We talked about that. I told him what I had. He had something else, the real version. He had the radiation probably from a great working machine. My machine kept breaking down. This is at the VA. And I hope don't nobody come after me, like I said, because I'm talking about the government and the VA. That's why I was hesitant because I don't know. But if they were trying to kill me, or if anybody come after me for talking about, the government hospital, so be it. I got to tell somebody what happened. And like when Dr. Sebi and all them was speaking on it, they were speaking on it because they knew they knew for real what was going on. And don't come on here saying the government killed Dr. Sebi or the government did something to Dr. Sebi. I don't believe that. So don't even waste your time or getting into that, because Dr. Sebi was an older guy. He could have wanted to die. He could have wanted to go to sleep. You ever heard of like your grandmama and older people saying, "This is my time. I just want to go to sleep." Dr. Sebi lived a long time, and that's all we can hope anyway, even eating good. There's a lot of people that eats good and work out and exercise and do cardio, and they still die of something. So all those theories or whatever, if the government did it, oh well, I don't want to talk about it, because I believe, you know, he was an older guy. He was still having sex. He was still doing, grown man stuff. You know what I'm saying? So all that, what happened to him, we ain't gonna come on there with that. But back to what they was doing to me, 10 minutes, frying me on the table. Frying me. And forgive me, I'm trying to hold this thing. I'm gonna set it. No, let me see if I can set it on something. Cause y'all probably saying, why don't he be still? See, I'm new to this, man. I'm new to this. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that. Anyway, they were frying me on the table like a piece of meat every day, other than the days that the machine would break down. Now, did you hear me say that? The machine would break down. And I would go in and say, it's time for my appointment. And I always like the early appointments between like 10 and 12 in the morning times, 9 if I could, so I can get out, because I wanted to do DoorDash afterwards. So to keep my mind busy, I started doing DoorDash, after I would do the radiation. But anyway, the days that I would go in there, the first couple weeks, I guess it was all right. I wasn't feeling anything. I wasn't hurting. It was just like I would lay on the table, and that thing would start turning and spinning around me, and I would be praying, and then I would leave and go do DoorDash, and it was a good day. But then, maybe the third week, fourth week, I began to feel raw in the anal area. It started burning. It started itching. It started swelling. It started becoming fire red. Like somebody, like I said, like I would lay down on a table, and when that radiation would shoot through my anus, it was cooking. It was cooking it and cooking everything up in there, trying to burn the cells, burn the tumor down. Man, that was torture. And every day I had to bring a pillow. I had to stop door dashing because I couldn't sit down. I had to have a pillow and sit up and drive all the way home. And man, it was torture. Now keep in mind, the machine would break down. Maybe all I knew was it broke down when I went in, and the secretary or the nurse would say, "Well, we're gonna have to reschedule you." because we're having problems with the machine. The machine broke down, and we got to get some technicians to come in and fix it. The radiation machine, the most important thing during this thing, has broken down. The thing that's supposed to shrink the tumor and all other patients or give them radiation is supposed to shrink the tumor that could kill you, that could bust your liver and bust your gallbladder and pancreas. It can do harm to your heart. That thing broke down. You mean to tell me the thing that I'm laying under that's cooking me has broken down, and y'all got somebody to come in that's gonna fix it? Now think about this. They would get somebody to come in and fix it, reschedule your appointment, and then give you the radiation with the same machine that broke down yesterday. God. And all the other customers and all the other patients that would come through there. I ran into, and you run past people and speak to people, and you're back and forth, and you run past the same people. And every day we're coming down there for 10 minutes to get fried, and then you're telling me that this machine has broken down, and then tomorrow you'll give me the radiation that's burning me to death with the same machine that broke down yesterday. And this happened sometimes 2 times a week. Sometimes I can recall them just I can recall them just saying, come back in a couple hours or something, or that evening. And you'll go in that evening and get radiation from the same machine that broke down yesterday or that morning. A broken machine, a radiation machine, one of the most ultimate technology things that they're using, that doctors that all, I don't know if it happens at other hospitals or not, but this is the radiation machine, one of the most important gadgets in the whole plan, that's supposed to shrink the tumor, that's supposed to help cure the disease, shrink it enough to where the surgeons can go in and do something with it. And maybe it's easier to take out. All this stuff they telling you that this radiation machine does, it breaks down. I never thought, before that, I never thought of it. I didn't think of it until after I went through the radiation. Thinking back like, oh my God, I was getting radiation from a machine that would break down once and twice a week. That's like saying those are just the times that I saw it, or that they rescheduled my appointment. You know? I'll try this again. Something else. Those are just the times that I went in and it would break down. That is crazy, man. So then I would do 10 minutes a day. And by the time 4 weeks came, I was burning like somebody was sticking a hot sword up inside of me through my rectum. And I was burning that bad. I was burning that bad. And it was torture. It was burning so bad it went probably through my anal area to my pubic area, and all the pubic hair was starting to burn up. It started giving me all kind of whelps and discoloration in that area. It was sore all through my testicles. My testicles was sore as, man, it was torture. And I had never been through nothing like that in my life. And all I kept thinking is, Lord, please let this tumor disappear. Every day I would be praying that that tumor would disappear. And keep in mind, I'm still taking the generic pills, 6 of those pills a day, maybe 6 in the morning. I can't remember that either, but I'll get back with y'all. But it was a lot of pills every day, maybe 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening. And that was killing you too. The chemo pills, the side effects of chemo pills. Look it up and do your research on what could happen with that. And these people were doing this to me for every day for 28 days straight. And I thank God that my hands didn't turn colors. I didn't lose no hair up top. I think because I just got a strong hair genes or whatever. I'm 55 and, still got a nice head full of hair. No bragging or nothing, but I'm thankful and from that it didn't take my hair out. So that was destroying me, and basically the only side effects I was getting was in my pelvic area, pubic area, my anal area, and everywhere that they say the tumor was. And to skip up, after those 28 days, I was so happy that it was over with, but I was still suffering. I couldn't sit down. I felt like I was burning, probably like I am now because I had surgery on an abscess that was down there. That the VA has been telling me that is a tumor for almost a year now. And I went to another doctor, finally, outside of the VA, that looked at it and said, this is a tumor. I mean, this is a abscess. Well, first we have to cut that open and drain that before I can go down in the rectum and see if it's a tumor in there. But the lump and the knot that's there, Dr. Weirdo been saying that it's a tumor that's hurting me like that. Why would he do that? Anyway, let's go back to these 28 days. 28 days, I made up my mind I'm through. I made up my mind I was through regardless of what happened, but I was still praying, Lord, when they tell me what stage it's at or if it disappeared, I just hope it's disappeared enough to where I can live and then just let it grow. And I heard that it's a slow growing cancer anyway, a slow growing tumor anyway. So if it shrunk any, I came in at 5.8. And if it shrunk down halfway, I would be good. Now I'll just live another, hopefully 10, 20 years, and hopefully it won't grow that fast. But of course, those doctors were saying, no, it don't work like that. No, this is aggressive. No, you need to do this. No, you need to hurry up. Matter of fact, right after the radiation, I kept on asking them, what stage is it now? How much has it shrunk? They didn't want to tell me. Well, we don't know. And regardless, we still have to go on with the next phase. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me if it shrunk, y'all still want to do some more? We're not even going to check to see if it's gone. Well, that's not the way it usually happens. They're just telling me, giving me excuses like that. Well, that's not normal. And we have to continue to make sure that we go through with our plan, with their plan. And I'm saying, what about my plan? What about what I want to do? I want to see. At least y'all can show me where I'm at now. They didn't want to show me where I was. And I kept asking Dr. Weirdo, like, what's the problem with me knowing if it shrunk? Because that's not going to do any good because of this and that. And then after that, no matter how much it shrunk, in order for us to finish the plan, we have to get it out there if you want to be cured, Mr. Dumars. We're doing everything to cure you from cancer. And unfortunately, the colostomy bag is part of it. But if you want to live, I want you to live another 30 years, and we can shrink it down to where it's small enough to where it's easier for the surgeon to get out. Well, let's check and see if it's small enough to get out now. And why would I have to wear a bag if he can get it out? And then, or what am I trying to get out if the plan is to still cut my butt out and sew it back up? Why are we shrinking something if we can just cut it out then? Why don't we just cut it out from the jump then? Why do we have to go through all this torture, all this radiation and chemo in order to shrink something that in the end, you're still going to cut it out? It didn't make no fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was to the point where I was like, man, this don't make no sense. And it's starting to sound like some evil stuff, some demonic stuff going on. Like the torture was real, man. And then after them 28 days, like I said, I fought and I fought and I fought. And I said, let me see some pictures. Do something. Show me something. We can't do that. We can't do that. Yes, you can. Show me some pictures of from before and after this 28 days. Well, we usually don't do that. We're supposed to wait till the third phase. What difference does it make? The third phase, if it's still there, I want to know if it's gone now, because I wanted to believe that it was gone, just like that guy who I met. My angel, I call him Mr. Angel because, he came in helping me out, giving me advice, telling me the same things that I started doing. Don't let them doctors just rule you. Be your own advocate. You got to fight for it. If they being shady, some shady. If your doctor acting funny, dig deep and make him tell you what's going on. Get that info out of him. If you see something on YouTube that ain't matching up, or you see something on Google that ain't matching up, that's all they don't know. It's a lot of people on YouTube and Google and everything that know just as much or more than them doctors. So if they say something, it's worth checking out to see if it worked. Like I said, I was seeing medicine called dostarlimab, Ivercitum or some couple of medicines that they saying that will get rid of rectal cancer. They might have it at the VA. Them doctors might have it, but they won't tell you, or they might not give it to you because you don't know about it. I didn't know about it. I found out that there was some doctors that could go up in your rectum and do the surgery, minimal invasive surgery, with a laparoscopic surgery, whatever, where they use a robot and go in and clamp and pinch. The same thing that they use and go in and get the polyps, and the same thing that they go in and get a biopsy from a mass or tumor that they say that they saw. Why not go in there and just get all the tumor that you can and let that part heal up, and then, it let it grow back like it grow back. No matter how fast it grow back, it should be the patient be able to say, hey, go up in there and just, do what you can, take what you can off. No different than your car. Just patch my tire up. I don't want a new tire right now. Just, get temporary or be all right for me right now. Why you can't do that with a doctor, Because he's insisting on that he wants to cure it. He wants to follow through with his plan. I heard there's a whole lot of money in finishing that plan. A colostomy bag surgery, I heard there's a lot of money in those surgeries. And I don't know how they get paid. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not here to do all that and go into their business. I'm just telling what happened to me. And then the fact that the whole plan still wouldn't be enough to guarantee that cancer would never come back. After all that, they still saying it can metastasize, it can come back. All that you went through, all of it can come back. You still can get it after wearing a bag. And you're telling me you're not going to even show me pictures from 28 days ago to now? Just let me see if I'm a miracle. Let me see if I'm a miracle. Let me see if God has chosen me to be another one too. And keep in mind, for those 28 days, I was still trying to eat right and juicing and fasting, and because I saw on YouTube that how to starve it, how to go on a plant-based diet. I saw that video with Chris Beat Cancer, where he went on an all plant-based diet, and and it disappeared, and he didn't have it anymore. And I saw a few success stories, like I said, where they went on all plant-based diets and they did whatever it took. And I'm over here, like I said, Googling, YouTubing, IGing, TikTok, and I'm trying to find everything I can who's been through it. What does rectal cancer consist of? Seeing doctors overseas that's actually giving people minimal invasive surgery to where they won't have to wear a bag. They won't have to go through all this other stuff. They just take it out, which I truly believe that the doctors and the surgeons could have did at the VA for me, but they didn't want to. They wouldn't give me that. Even the surgeon that I went through, yeah, he's part of the team too. So it's three: the hematology chief, the radiology chief, and the surgeon. And even the surgeon was like smiling, like it's nothing I can do. The best plan is to cut it out, and I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for over 40 years, and no other doctor is gonna tell you any different. They kept speaking for other doctors, and I would be like, let me talk to another doctor to see what he says. But they would never give me that help. So again, we back to me praying. Me after that 28 days, I'm feeling like I'm going through hell. I'm the side effects. I'm burning, and they won't show me what stage I'm at. So it all frustrated me so bad to where I started thinking about quitting. And I just was like, if I gotta die in order to be cured, this is not the way. If I gotta be tortured and go through 84 more days of chemo, and then that part is the part that, like I said, maybe make you change colors and your fingers numb, and everything you touch might be cold, and you might feel all nauseated and sick and weak and lose all your hair. That was the phase that was next for me. And I told them that I really need to see the status I was. And do you know, finally they showed me my status. And the lady called me and she said, we still see it shrunk halfway. That's what the person said. Well, we just know it shrunk halfway. Then when I went to the radiologist and I was like, can you tell me how much it shrunk? Well, let's just say that doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. It shrunk down some, but it's not enough that we need to be concerned with, and this and that. Then I asked the hematology chief. Well, maybe a little over half. A little over half. So I'm thinking, like I said, okay, it started off 5.8 centimeters. If it shrunk over half or whatever, it's maybe around 2.7, 2.5, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, it shrunk some. I was just so happy that it shrunk some. So I was feeling positive about it, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, at least it shrunk some, And I was hoping for them to say you had 100% and it's gone. But that wasn't the news. They at least that's what they said, but they wouldn't show me no pictures. They just, all three of them kept saying, well, let's just say it shrunk over half. Well, it shrunk over maybe a little over 50%. The other one said something where it shrunk sideways, and it was three different stories on how it shrunk or what status I was at. And still they can't tell you the stage you're at now. And I'm saying, so if I came in here stage 2, what stage is it now? So they can't, during the plan, give you a different diagnosis. At least, again, that's what they was telling me. Now, After that, I prayed. I said, Lord, please send me somebody. Please send me somebody that can shrink it the rest of the way, because I don't want to go through their plan and have to torture myself in order to live. I don't want to have to go through hell in order to go to heaven. I don't want to have to almost die to continue. Lord, please send me somebody. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And one day, I thought of my uncle. My uncle, hey, he has been a vegetarian, vegan or vegetarian, whatever, since I was a little boy. Since I probably was maybe 5 years old, and all I ever known him was to do was eat good and eat vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. He's 80 something years old, still playing tennis, still teaching tennis, still moving around and laughing and look good, face look good, his skin look good, and he's been a vegetarian for almost my whole life. But I called him. I said he might know somebody. So when I called him, I said, "Man, hey uncle, I I'm calling you because I'm in distress. I need some help. I'm going through a battle with cancer, and I wanted to know, do you know anybody, like a holistic doctor or somebody that can?" No, I asked him, did he know something at first? Do you have any remedies or any type of recipes? He was like, "Well, I got a couple of recipes that can detox you." And he started telling me about the recipes, bananas and cucumbers and all this stuff, and some of the recipes that he had. And I was writing them down, like I said, every little information I can find from anywhere I was writing down and gonna apply it to me. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me a couple soup recipes to be able to help out. And all of a sudden he just said, I tell you what, I can give you these recipes. He said, but I know a man that knows way more than I know. And he's a holistic doctor. He's one of those doctors that, heal people the natural way. And he know. I was like, oh, whoa, that's what I need. Okay, what's his information? Forgive me, Unc, for cutting you off, but I need this information quick. This is what I've been praying for. He gave me this information and gave me the number to, it was a good friend of his. And he told me he had been knowing him for years. And I started feeling motivated. I started feeling, okay, God, are you blessing me with somebody? Did I, and something in my mind was really thinking, this is it. I believe God has heard my prayer, and he's right on time. They say he might not come when you want him, but he's right on time. And that's been like it is in my life, and we hate that time when he ain't coming, though. Like I said, I'm going through hell and feeling like I'm in misery, but at that moment it felt like, thank you, Jesus. That's the first thing we're gonna do, is go from mad to like, thank you, Jesus. And I called that number, and I called that number, and I called that number desperately, frantically. I know who. Well, I was calling like crazy and wasn't getting no reply. I wasn't getting an answer right away. And then I think his secretary called me back and left the information, and I didn't answer because I probably, whatever I was doing, or thought it was a bill collector or whatever, I just ignored it. But they left a message and saying, look at this and look at the website, or gave me a little information to sign up for a consultation. And I was like, okay, how much is it? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did. I called the secretary, and they was talking about the consultation and how much it costs, to be able to meet up, because he's not a easy man to get in touch with, just like, probably Dr. Sebi or many other holistic doctor out there that, that's always working with somebody. Always working with somebody. Helping, healing, doing God's work. Not just sitting in no hospital. Taking clients back to back. Destroying them. I finally had gotten some kind of communication in touch. But even still after that, I was desperate to where I just was like, I don't want to wait. These people still saying it's aggressive. They were scaring me. I probably could have waited some more. I probably was okay. Probably not, because like I said, they said it was halfway. It started out the size of like a walnut or a golf ball, whatever they were saying. And if it shrunk halfway, it had to be like a pecan or something by now. So even still, I wanted it out of me. And I wanted to do whatever it took to get it out of me. And I wanted to see what this holistic naturopathic doctor had to say. And oh Lord, I searched and I searched and I searched, and finally I got enough nerve to say, I'm going by the address. I'm not waiting no longer. I don't care about no money. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care what it is. There's no price on my life. It's nothing that can be more expensive than trying to save my own life and being an advocate for myself, to reach out to somebody that can maybe help me better than being tortured by a machine that was loud and all this stuff wrapping around you and going around your body, and it's breaking down every other day, and it's just a torture machine, a killer radiation that's destroying your body, radiation that's destroying the good cells that's trying to fight in order to live. But it is shrinking stuff because it's burning stuff inside of you, and it's burning everything around you too. But this day, I said it's on. I'm just gonna bust up in somewhere. I don't care if it's a meeting going on. I don't care who there. I'm trying to find this person that they said may be able to help me. And would you know, I went to that place. And when I walked in, this man was standing there like he had been waiting on me. It was like Simba coming back to Rafiki or something on Lion King, if you ever seen that. It was like, and I fell into his arms like a hug, like he was a guru, like he was a god, like he was a prophet, which he is. He's everything to me now. And he was sitting there like this, with his arms open, like he knew who I was, like he knew what I was there for, and he had never seen me in his life. He might have talked to my uncle, because him and my uncle are real good friends. That's the blessing. That's the right there, to be able to know somebody that knew somebody. And you just can't get in touch with him, and you just can't find him, and you just can't walk up and talk to him like that, because people are hating natural people that's doing stuff the right way. And they will try to do something to them. I don't know like I said, I don't know how true that is. Will doctors do something to you because you're trying to help people? So it is kind of secretive, and to where I couldn't get in touch with him. But the fact that he knew my uncle, he later said that, like on the strength of his friendship and how much he respects my uncle, he was looking for me, and I didn't know he was looking for me. I was looking for him so desperately. And like I said, when I got there, though, it was like he knew who I was. And I fell in his arms, and he held me like a baby and told me what they did to me. He told me what the radiation machine was doing to me. He told me he know how I feel. He told me he was like a angry father. He was telling me, I know what they did to you. I know what they said to you. I know the things, and he was saying some of the things that the doctor, I know they told you this, that, and that, and this. I know they told you that their plan was better than God's. I know that they told you over there 2,500 um, experiments, cases. That's what they call them, cases. 200 and 2,500 cases. He kept on saying that. And then the holistic doctor was saying the same thing that they're taught in school. I know what he said. I know what he sat down and said to you in the beginning. He said what he said. Everything that Dr. Weirdo was telling me, this man was telling me, I know he said it to you, and this is what he should have said. This is what I'm going to tell you, and this is what I'm going to do for you. I wish you had gave me 30 days. And when he said that, it was like a force field came over me. It was like the spirit that came over me when he said, I wish you had gave me 30 days. I'm thinking, you mean 30 days before I went through all of this? And he was saying it so serious, and he always say you never supposed to say guarantee or act like it's 100% sure that somebody can cure you or that somebody can heal you, because you're not God. God has the last say. He's the last judge and the last doctor. When he say it's time, it's time. When it's go time, when he say ain't nothing can stop it, and that's what was happening, and he was accepting me in like a new son. And that's how I felt. I poured my heart out and cried, and he said I know, and he treated me like a son that he had just got in and brought me in, man. And it was so motivating and so warm to where it was time to fight. And I felt like he gave me a force field around me to where I was ready. I was ready to do whatever it took. But do you know I still had a few days left of radiation, I think. Yeah, I still had a little bit of radiation left. I gotta go back. I wasn't quite through. I was almost through with radiation, and I was still praying, and I was blessed to meet somebody. But even still, meeting another man, I was like, I still might need to go ahead and finish these 28 days just to see if it works. And then that's when all that happened, and they wouldn't tell me how much it shrunk. They just say it's still there. It's still there. They kept on telling me it's still there. That's when I started reaching out to my uncle and saying, I need to find somebody. I need to find somebody. And let me speed up. Now you know how I ran into him, because that's when I started they saying it's still there. So I reached out like I got to find him now. So I found the information. I knew who it was, but I still was like, I got to go through this, what the doctors say, to see if it worked first. So I didn't quite go with my new angel. Because I almost didn't trust man again. Because when we hear stuff like that, we want to believe the doctor. We want to think, I don't know if he know what he's talking about. If what he's going to do is going to work. You still have your doubts. But the doubts became very small from what I was going through. And for them to tell me they didn't know how big it was, they couldn't show me pictures. And I said, F it. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going back to that doctor. And like I said, I'm going to go see that doctor. And like I said, when he took me in, like I said, he was angry like a father that knew that somebody had been somewhere torturing his son. And he took me in. And then he told me a plan. He gave me a plan and told me. It was very simple, his plan. And it was God's way. And God's way is the only way if you want to heal. If you really want to heal. Some people have went through it and been blessed to come out scot-free. Using the machines, using their medicine and stuff. But I think they're more at good hospitals, good medicine, They got a bell that you can ring when you go through. The VA don't even have a bell that you can ring because ain't nobody winning. And for me to beat cancer, I kept thinking, if I got to wear a bag, that's not beating it. If I got to have some kind of prosthetic thing on me in order to poop all day, that's not winning. I didn't beat nothing. And if it's still there, I still haven't beat it. I won't beat it until it's gone, till I'm free. I ain't got nothing in me, no infection, no mass, no tumor, no disease, no type of cancer, no metastasizing, no nothing. That's the only way you can really say you beat it. And if it comes back, you still haven't beaten it. You just beat it up that first time. And it's order for you to continue fighting it and continue kicking it down so it never comes back again. Okay? So I've talked a little bit too much today, you know. I hope I didn't go too long because I'm going to come back again and do another video, and I'm going to probably pick up from where I'm leaving off right now, how I met this holistic naturopathic doctor that does it the all plant-based way, that does it the herbs, vegetables, fruits, mixes, things you can and you can't eat. The program that I was on, I don't like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna get deep into that part, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell y'all the rest of the journey on how I was feeling, on how on other stuff that I went through with the doctors, the stuff that they were saying to me. Like I said, you know, I can't think of it all. I just go freestyle, raw, and I ain't got no setup and plan, you know. And like I said, I'll jot some things down that I remember so I can come back and talk to y'all. And again, I'm gonna leave it at that right now. But to each and every one of you, be your own advocate for yourself. Fight for it. Fight for it. Fight for your life. Don't let one doctor tell you one thing and then you just go with it. Especially if you don't want to do it. Especially if you feel something negative about it. Try your best to find someone else or another doctor that might have another opinion. And even while whatever the doctors say you're doing, you got to try to do some things on your own anyway, like fasting, like juicing, like eating healthy, letting go meat and sodas and alcohol. We're going to get into that part. We're going to get into that stuff too, because all of this is you have to be dedicated. You have to be disciplined if you want to beat something like this. And I don't know if I still got it in me, because I went back to living my life, drinking, smoking, and eating burritos and Taco Bell and McDonald's. And I started doing the same thing I was doing when I had the tumor before. But we still need to get to that story too, like I said, to where I actually did fight that tumor off. I actually did quit radiation because they wouldn't tell me how big it was. They wouldn't tell me how big it was. They wouldn't tell me what stage I was at now. So I went with the natural doctor. I went with the holistic doctor that said he had been doing it for over 40 years too. And could be a doctor in a hospital, but he was a master at nutrition. He was a master at things that you can put together, herbs and supplements that works for the body. That's better than what the hospital was giving, what any hospital can give. To where when I went back to that same hematology doctor, Dr. Weirdo, to get my results because I refused to go through their plan. I said, all you can do for me is scan me. All you can do is give me MRIs from now on. And I won't, like you do anybody else, every 3 months, since y'all telling me you don't know what size it is, let me keep it at that size. Let me do it like that. And you just look, and I'm going to be trying to get rid of it in the meantime. And let's watch it like that. And if it grows back and it keeps growing back, then we can talk about a colostomy bag. Then we can talk about 84 more days. But I don't know if we're going to be able to give you any more radiation. I don't know if we're going to be able to give you any more chemo pills. If you stop now, I don't think we're ever going to be able to give you any more. That's what the radiologist said. The chief radiologist, Dr. Cough, because always coughing. Always just big, like I said, big unhealthy lady with her breast cut off and not down on people, like I said, but she telling me what to do with my health, and she just farting and coughing. So I went back to them. I didn't go back in 3 months. I went back 6 months. I might as well go and tell y'all before this end. I went back in 6 months because 3 months I was like, man, I felt like Superman. Man, what I was doing and what I went through and what I went through with this natural doctor, with my new Rafiki, with my new found father, who was being just like a father or uncle, a man that was giving me life lessons, how to believe, how to overcome this. And hopefully I can give that to you and inspire you, because you can do it. But you got to believe it. You got to be the one that's believing it. You got to be the one that's doing it. You got to be the one that's disciplined enough to get rid of all those bad foods that you was eating. You got to be the one that fights for your own life. Or you can just let the doctors go and do it. Now that's up to you. You're grown. Somehow you found me because you're looking for some information. You looking for a way to get through some kind of way. And this is with any sickness or illness. You got to believe and want to do the right things in order to heal. And when I went back to them doctors 6 months later and got on the machine, the little flunky Dr. Toto, who went to school, called me one day while I'm door dashing. Mr. Dunmars, we just looked at your MRI and your scans, and it looks like we don't see anything. Oh, depressed, like, like she didn't really want to tell me. It wasn't like, Mr. Dunmars, we just went over your MRI and we can't find anything. We don't see anything. It was more like, well, we don't see anything, but that don't mean that cancer not still there. All my prayers and all my beliefs and everything that I have been asking Jesus for, I just went to screaming, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, in the car. Thank you, Jesus, I was screaming. And this lady was, well, I don't, let's not move too fast now. It's just say we don't see anything. Do you see anything or not? If you don't know what you're looking at, send me to another doctor that can find it, that can see it in. Now all of a sudden you can't find anything, but it's not to say that cancer is still growing. That's what she had to still say to me. It was whatever was there, they couldn't find it anymore. But now, even the hematology doctor, I'm going to tell you about that real quick, because I had to go back to him, and we went down to the radiologist. The guy that takes the pictures and stuff. And he confirmed it. We looking at the pictures of the before and after. On this one, it looked like a walnut growing inside my rectum. On this, you see a hole. Just a hole, like a tunnel. But that hematology doctor saying, well, it's still some swelling right there. Yeah, it's swelling because you done burnt me up for the last last you burnt me up in March. 28 days of it, so I could be still swollen. And what my natural doctor say is that yeah, you still swollen because they burnt you up. It's like putting fire on bare skin, like some raw skin inside of you. And I went back to pouring alcohol on it, like messing up the wound, but like pouring alcohol on a blister. But that's another story. But when I went back in that 6 months, it was gone. And they were just sad. And even the hematology doctor, when we was on the helicopter, he was like shaking his head, looking down, quiet. All that, we want to take care of you, Mr. Dunmars. I'm so happy for you. And I just want you to go through this and just believe you're in the best hands. And I've been doing this and through our studies, over 2,500 studies, we have the best plan for you. No, them 2,500 people ain't me. God made me different than those 2,500 people that y'all did the experiments on. And in 6 months, he was riding up that elevator just shaking his head, and he said, "Oh, Mr. Dunmars, I've been doing this over 40 years, 45 years, or whatever." He said, and I've never seen nobody have 100% clinical response. But you might be the first one. You might be the first one, man. Like I said, like he was distraught, like he was upset that he wasn't gonna be able to make him go through with that surgery to give me a bag for the rest of my life. It seemed like he would be happy for me, and that like, I'm so happy for you, Mr. Dunmars. We're gonna keep scanning you. We didn't see nothing now, and hopefully we continue to not see nothing. No, his head was down, like shaking his head. And when we got up to his office, he was like, "Well, what do you want to do now?" Now asking me what I want to do. I said, "Well, I want you to continue to monitor me. Look at me every 3 months, Let's do it every 3 months and, do a scan or MRI or whatever you got to do to look and see if there's anything." And that's what we started doing. And he just, like I said, just disappointed, acting disappointed as I was leaving that office. Like a sad man that wanted so bad to give me a colostomy bag, cut me out, and telling me that's the best plan, and the only way I can know it's cured is if we go through with the plan. He still was talking about it. Well, it is not to say that it's not there, and the only way, because we know where it was, and the only way that we can be sure that it's gone is to have the surgery, Mr. Dunmars. Not saying that no alternatives. Now it then shrunk to where this is the perfect time to say, let's see if we can find a doctor that's minimal invasive and we can go in there and just pull it out like a polyp. No other things. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just so happy that, thank you, Jesus, that y'all can't see nothing right now. In 6 months. But I was so scared to where I went for the quick fix just like everybody else. You want to go in and let them burn you alive. You want to go in and hope they can burn it away real quick instead of going the route that God meant for us and take your time. The body is made to heal itself. No disease can live in a body with the proper blood flow and organ flow and everything. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to go against YouTube rules, and I'm gonna go back and say that I don't own that, or I can't guarantee that, but I've heard that is many diseases. Let me say it like that. That is many diseases that can be healed if you give your body the right things. If you do the right things and be disciplined and wait and be patient and let the body work for you and work to heal. Or you can go in and let them destroy your body trying to get the quick fix, and then they'll destroy something else. Then just like a mechanic, you go in there for work on your carburetor, then all of a sudden you need a water pump. Then all of a sudden the water pump, you need an alternator. Then after the alternator, you need a radiator. Then your thermostat go bad because the water pump pumping good now. All that stuff's just like your engine. And you got to fix it little by little because it took years for you to pollute it. It took years for you to poison it and put all that bad gas and radiation fluid and let it build up without flushing. And you built up and bagged up with all this poison and food inside of you to where it's decaying inside of you just like you see it decaying when a lion is eating it in the jungle. And flies all around it. That's why it come out so funky. So the best plan is running the marathon instead of the sprint. Because the sprint ain't gonna do nothing but tire you out and have you feeling real bad. But the marathon is gonna continue to keep you well over time. Slowly but surely. The race is not given to the swift, but the one who endures. I'm not like I said, a Bible man or a church man. I'm a spiritual man. I'm not a religious man. Like I said, I've been to church and I've been baptized and I believe in God. And I know God's way is the best way. And you can hear it and he'll tell you and he'll speak to you. But you got to seek and believe and pray and talk to God. And don't be afraid to take the road that seems to be long, because it's going to help you be stronger in the future. If you take the quick route, like I said, you just taking a chance. And again, like I said, a lot of people going to debate what I say and a lot of people ain't going to believe what I say, but I'm only on here to help somebody to listen to me, to hopefully apply to their life, to believe, and I'm going to get into some more videos, hopefully. And, I am going to be talking to y'all periodically and letting you know to stay motivated, to stay in the fight. Don't quit. I don't care what kind of cancer you got. Breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, whatever. Start by doing something, giving up some bad things that you know you're doing already. You got high blood pressure, give up some stuff that you know you're doing bad already. All right? So again, I'm going to go and get off of here. I've been too long. Once again, like they always say, subscribe, like, comment or ask me a question or whatever. If you know somebody, share it anyway and get it out there. Like I said, because people in the cancer world, they don't know. It's a lot of people, like I said, as soon as they hear the word cancer, you can tell somebody, man, the doctor diagnosed me with cancer. Oh man. And really, if you look at it, if you get a mass or a tumor, it's telling you something wrong. Your body telling you something wrong. It's time to fix it. And the doctor can't always fix it. There's some smart doctors out there. There's some stuff, like I said, that they got that'll temporarily make you feel so good. But it's also some stuff that's natural that'll make you feel good forever. And I'm going to leave you with that. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment, and keep in touch with me. Share it with somebody. Tell somebody that you saw a dude 55 years old that say he beat cancer the first time. And again, I say I ain't really beat it if I went back to it. If I went back to doing other stuff and it's something else. But I don't know if it's something else in me. I'm still waiting on the doctor because, like I said, the doctor said that it was a tumor. I went to an outside doctor, to a good doctor outside of the VA, and he said this is a abscess. And then let me see if I see anything inside your rectum. So I'm waiting on those results. And so I got to come back with that video too. And then if it's something that I need to do, I'm going to go on a journey. If they say something's in me, I'm going to have to go on a journey of fighting. I'm going to have to go on a journey of doing it again. All right. So again, God bless you. Stay strong. Keep fighting. Endure the pain. It's somebody always worse than you. It's somebody that'll always give up their problems to have yours. It's somebody that didn't wake up. It's somebody that's paralyzed. You can go through it and whatever you going through and not have to worry about the horror life that they're going to through. And you be thinking that yours is so bad. But when I had that, I it was some things that I wish I had other than cancer. So you think about that. God bless you. Think positive. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Keep fighting. God bless you.